It was February 11, 2015. 1.9 was in full swing, and people were starting to get really good at Geometry Dash. Everyone was oblivious to the fact that many people were hacking the game, and as a result, a lot of the most popular players were actually hackers. The community at this point had no idea that this was the case, and so let it run wild. The reign of hackers would have continued far into the future, if it wasn't for one kid, who on that fateful day, uploaded the most important Geometry Dash video there has ever been to YouTube. Their name was the Mute Troll. The Mute Troll wasn't very good at GD, and no one really knew who they were. They had only made videos about fake Herobrine sightings on Minecraft, none of which were very good. And the video they uploaded on February 11, 2015, wasn't any better. It was titled, Geometry Dash YouTubers, Skilled or Hackers? A very appealing and clickbait title, which drew in some of the more tight-knit community, and caught their attention, due to the focus of the video being on a famous player of the time. The video starts off tame, with the Mute Troll showing 2 clips of them progressing on a popular level, Party Dynamics. The Mute Troll prompts the audience at the beginning of the first clip to try to spot the differences in the 2 clips. Nowadays, the difference is pretty obvious, as when the Mute Troll plays the ship part, their flying is absurdly straight, and they quickly die to a very clear transition by going up right into an obvious saw in the wave part. However, in mid 1.9 people were not experienced at all with people using speed hacks to slow down the game, and make it much easier to sight read levels and play more difficult parts. As the video goes on, the Mute Troll asks the million-dollar question: what if the YouTubers and skilled players you know and love, are hacking as well? The question had never been asked before, and as a result, the video initially got some hate. The hate was mainly because of the Mute Troll calling out one player in particular, named Npesta. Npesta was known well as one of the most popular GD YouTubers and one of the most skilled players of the time, a very trusted community figure. So why did the video become so well received, not even a couple of months later? I will get to that later, but for the meantime, let's continue the video. The Mute Troll later shows Npesta's completion of Theory of Skrillex, and paints an innocent picture of Npesta right before the end of the clip. When Npesta hits the end wall of the level, that's when the Mute Troll starts going in. You see, when Npesta hit the end wall of the level, there was no sound effect, as there usually is. The Mute Troll's argument is that if Npesta hadn't hacked, they would have left the sound effect in. If Npesta did hack, however, and had left the sound effect in, the sound would have been distorted and it would be obvious that they had speed hacked the level. Nowadays this would mean nothing, but back in mid 1.9 this was a capital sin. Moving on, the Mute Troll shows Npesta's completion of Decode, a popular and very difficult demon level, and in particular shows a slow but very difficult wave part at around 70% into the level, and points out Npesta's wave movements as suspicious. The Mute Troll goes on to speed hack that wave to show that it's easy to replicate the same movements with speed hack, and have a very similar looking video for the level, just showing that it is very easy to fake completions like Npesta is doing. Now, this is the gist of the video, and the Mute Troll goes on to accuse another player of hacking who is much more blatant, but also less well known. That bit isn't very important, so let's just get to the point, shall we? Now, following this video's release, it received hate for a period of about 2 weeks, in which the video wouldn't really gain a lot of traction. At this point, no one wanted to believe the Mute Troll's rash accusations of Npesta. However, the video would be seen by Npesta, and this prompted some fear in them. Of course nowadays these accusations could be dismissed without question, but Npesta was worried because they knew they had hacked the levels they'd been caught out on. In the end, a lot of things had to line up for this video to even make it into the spotlight, and garner the 3.6 million views it has today. But the most important one is that Npesta admitted to hacking the levels they had been caught out on. The future implications this video had on the whole of the GD community because of Npesta admitting to hacking were tremendous. If this video wasn't made, if the accusations weren't true, and if Npesta hadn't admitted that they hacked, the GD community would not be close to where it is today. Hackers would run wild, and the community would be much less based around difficult levels, and more around levels of varying difficulty, from 3 stars to extremes, as no one could rival the hackers except for other hackers, so what would the point be for players that played legit? Atop that, levels with good deco would take the spotlight in the community, and with an update that's over 5 years old being carried a lot by difficult levels, the game would most likely die off, especially just because of the hacker presence in the community. Since this video was released, it now has 40,000 likes and has been seen by 3.6 million people. Its influence on the GD community at the time was unmatched, and many people started to get caught hacking later in 2015. Big names like Andromeda, who was a very skilled player and had verified extreme demons like Poltergeist and the Ultimate Phase, was exposed for using speed hack on their completions of those levels, and Cyclic, who to this day is one of the most well-known community figures from 1.9, who ended up being exposed for having cuts on his completion of a verification of his, the Hell Zone, and later he admitted to hacking everything he ever completed. However, myself and others to this day don't believe that is true. For me, it's safe to say that the Mute Trolls video is the most influential GD video we have ever seen, and may ever see. This one kid, sitting at home making a cringy exposing video on Noob, has ended up with a video that almost everyone in the GD community has seen, and has themselves racked up 70,000 subscribers on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really am trying my best to make these videos as good as I can make them, but I haven't had much time to make videos like this summer. Be sure to subscribe, because I will definitely be making more in the near future.